Today, I'm joined by my guest, Steve Eakins from Lumon Pay. He's the key partner director there. Steve, how are you doing?
Yeah, very well. Thank you this morning. Very well.
Steve, we're going to sort of lift the lid on I think one of the industry's best kept secrets at the moment. Not necessarily a best kept secret in Europe, and you're going to tell us a little bit about that now. But I think that to set the background for people watching this, how often do we as agents go out there and value a house for somebody who's going to put it on the market with us? And we ask them naturally, because we're great agents, we want to know where they get moving to next. And they say, "Oh, don't worry about that, David. I'm moving to Greece. I'm moving to Spain. I'm going here. I'm going there." And it's abroad effectively that they're going to. And we sort of go, "Okay, fine. Well, we can't help you with houses over there." But that doesn't necessarily mean that we can't help as agents or that there are not opportunities for us to get involved and add to a bottom line. Because, of course, moving abroad is far much more than just finding a suitable property. You've got to look at sort of moving money around and so on. And that is a whole minefield on its own. That's where you guys come in. So, if you don't mind, Steve, for those people that haven't come across Lumon before, can you give us a bit of a history of the company and sort of give us an idea of the scale of things and who you might be working with at the moment?
No problems. Yeah. So people don't know who we are, really, to be honest, in the UK space. But as you've mentioned, David, we're pretty big in Europe, which I'll come on to in a second. We're in essence a currency broker. So we're in particular a very property savvy currency broker. Most people don't know what a currency broker really is, but in essence, what we do here is we aspire to offer better rates and better service than the banks when clients are moving money internationally. So it's moving money around the world. And yeah, this is a pretty big thing now. Europe is really the playground for our industry space, really, to be honest. So we're one of the biggest in France, second biggest in Spain, biggest in Portugal. You know, you'll see us on billboards, hear us on the radio, see us in the press. We've got half a dozen buses going around Spain with our brand on. We're a big thing, but we're the new kids on the block in the UK space. So we're kind of like property staging was 5 years ago or perhaps presenter-led video was 5 years ago, whereas now everyone knows what it is and are either doing it or know that they should perhaps be doing more of it. But in essence, from us, we celebrate actually 25 years of doing it this summer. So 25 years. I'm 16, 17 years in. When I walked in, there was only 20 of us. Now there's 200 of us
Wow.
across 10 offices throughout Europe. And we trade, to give an element of scale, last year it was about 25 to 30 million pounds a day we were trading for our clients. So we're doing billions a year moving money around the world to help them with the saving and the benefit of it.
Well, we're going to talk about the benefit and the saving soon because that can be quite significant. But just to give people who are watching an idea of how relevant this is, because you
Mm.
might, as I said at the beginning, you'd be mistaken for thinking that this doesn't affect us and it doesn't really happen every day. But the amount of people moving out of,
Mm.
moving internationally, and we only need to refer to recent politics and recent headlines, tax changes, etc. There are people that are definitely moving. Those people are, when we say they have wealth, they have property wealth, so they need to liquidize that in a way. They need to sell it. It is a sizable chunk of the market. Can you give us an idea of what that looks like?
Yeah, let me give you some numbers and some themes that we're seeing in the international space as well, because you're absolutely right, David. What a lot of people that I meet in the UK kind of goes, oh, this is great, but it doesn't really happen very often, or hang on a minute, this is a London thing. This has nothing to do with me. To be clear, we actually do more work with agents in Wales than we do in London.
Yeah.
Just but from a size of it, the data from last year, there was 33,000 Brits bought a property abroad last year. So it equates to around about 100 completions a day in the UK where the funds are moving abroad. And depending on what numbers you look at, it's somewhere between 4 to 5% of the market. So the transactional numbers last year, and this is just the vendors, not the buyers, that are moving abroad. This year, the numbers are probably going to be bigger and probably don't have time. We all can talk about politics of what's going on at the moment, but we're seeing a steep increase in the amount of people that are leaving the UK. To give some scale, if I'm introduced to 5 clients in the UK at the moment, 4 of them are vendors selling through agents. So this is an opportunity, people watching this. You probably already got opportunity right now in your forecast. You just haven't identified that you can add this value and earn this commission, and commission's being left on the table at the moment.
As we're talking, I've already thought of 3 clients that I can send your way. So we're going to talk after this. But it is something that happens every day, and I think that it's something that we often ignored because we didn't have any way to take advantage of it, I suppose, or to add value along the way. But one thing I do know is that the clients that work with you love working with you. But just to flip that on its head. Why do they like working with you?
Let me give you some information on why clients like us, and we can
Yeah.
talk about why people watching this and agents, hopefully they'll like what moment is going to come. But from a client perspective, why they love us is in essence, if we couldn't save them money, we wouldn't be here. And from the people watching this, if we're saving them money, it means they've got more money to spend with you. So that might mean increased offers if they're buyers, or indeed if they're vendors, perhaps taking a lower level. And we know in the market at the moment, recording this summer 25, a lot of this at the moment, the market is particularly price sensitive. So this can be a really useful tool. But why a client likes us is it's free to speak to us. We're very people led. They get personal account managers. And again, we're incredibly property savvy. So by this, I mean, this is normally a hugely emotive moment, like we're all dealing with our clients at the moment. And you don't just want to do it online. The likes of, purple bricks and those in the background. It's the same thing from a currency perspective. So from a client's perspective, we can save them money. When was the last time the bank rang any of us?
Yeah.
And the big, big, big piece is around currency risk mitigation. And I know that sounds like big, long words. What does that really mean? It's basically meaning the currency market is moving a shed loads. And you can apply the swear word there where you think, because it is really big. As again, I said when I started this, if the currency market changed in price in 0.5% on a day, it'll be big, big news. It'll be on the front of the FT the next day. Whereas now we'll see it 4 days out of 5 normally on a quiet week with Trump and politics and a couple of proxy wars around the world. The market's moving a shed load, and it can make a significant difference to the buying power of the client. And as a result, it puts a significant amount of risk to everyone watching this. If you've got an international client, an international sale, that currency movement will make and break deals, which we'll come on to in a second. But the bad news, unfortunately, for everyone is in the last 6 months, I've had dozens of clients pretty much crying on the phone down to us because X doesn't equal Y anymore, and the dream is broken and the chain's fallen down because no one talked about currency early enough.
Okay. Okay. So I almost now want to get to that bit that you then
Mm.
referred to. So give it to us, Steve. Tell us. Um.
Okay, give you some numbers.
Yeah.
So for the first half of the year, the first 6 months of 25, the pound to euro exchange rate moved, or the difference between where it started and where it ended in the first 6 months was about 5.5%. It actually moved bigger than that. At the moment, the big one is actually the pound dollar exchange rate. That's moved through the 6 months 14%. And at the end of month 6, it was 10% difference from the beginning of the beginning of the year, sorry. What that means from everyone reading here is if you've got a vendor who you're listing for, who you listed at the beginning of the year, and they're moving to Dubai, which hot topic, if we get time, we can talk about where people are going, but Dubai is massive. It's the second biggest destination of choice that people are going to,
Yeah.
which is dollars. So if you've got a vendor that you took on the property at the beginning of the year and they're moving to Dubai, they could now take a 10% price reduction from you and still end up with the same amount of dollars, dirhams, Dubai money than they would have when you first listed the property. So these success stories of where you can use currency to your advantage. I've had agents ring me and kind of go, I've got a cash buyer, no chain, but they're offering below the asking price. The vendor's moving to Spain or wherever. Can you help? And I'll quickly go, right, yeah, go to them. I've got a cash buyer. no chain. It's below the asking price, but this below asking price offer now actually gets you more euros or more dollars than when we listed the property 6 months ago. And it'll often end up with 2 pages of emojis from the agent. Deal accepted. And deal's been done. So it's using that currency bit to your
Yeah.
advantage in this price sensitive market. But there's loads of examples, and maybe I'll give you a few of them if you want them.
Yeah, no, no, that's brilliant. Because in my experience, I mean, I wasn't being facetious earlier when I referred to two or three clients. The two or three clients that I'm thinking of are tend to be sort of high net worth individuals that will be selling properties of a significant value. Those properties sometimes are not as it's not a sweet spot in the market. It's not sort of three or 400,000 where everybody's queuing up to buy them. And so if you can get a bit of a price reduction on some of those properties in order to move them, that can help them. But sometimes they say, well, we can't afford that because we're going to need every penny on the other side of this. But actually, if they're savvy with what they're doing to purchase that currency, I suppose, or to move it, that can make a deal of difference. So can we, I mean, you did mention very briefly there the destinations. Let's just touch on that very briefly, if you don't mind. Dubai is one of those kind of luxury destinations at the moment that we see all over Instagram. But it's
Yeah.
not all glitz and glamour. There are real sort of tax benefits to people moving that way. And in terms of the sort of business that they do out there. But Dubai is not the only destination.
Break it down, yeah. So
Yeah,
across the UK, say we get 5 referrals, 5 agents introducing us, and we'll come back to the other agent benefit in a minute. International client flow. This is the interesting bit for you because it's changed a shed load. Again, insert the swear word there if you like. It's changed a hell of a lot with Labour and everything that's going on. The world is moved.
yeah,
So out of 5 clients, 4 of them will be vendors going abroad. Yeah. Last year, the biggest destination was Spain.
right.
Second was the one that I got wrong, Dubai. Dubai is second most popular. Then it's France, then it's Italy, and some of those legacy bits. If you're representing top of market, then generally, if they're over 55, they'll be going to the Caribbean. If they're under 55, they're going to be going to Dubai.
Interesting.
Right? The buyers that are coming in, so the international clients coming in, and again, if you're ever in the city in London, and I'm all over, I'm not just there, there's no more Middle Eastern victory laps going on. The Arabs and the Middle Easterns are not coming to the UK anymore, really, ever since Labour came in. And
Right.
with the rumour around wealth tax and everything else, you're not getting the rich Europeans or the Europeans coming in. So from the buyers that are coming in, if I get buyers coming in, 2 of the 5 I'll get will be returning expats. Interesting stat here because everyone talks about expats leaving, no one talks about expats coming back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you know that 60% of expats return back to the UK within the first 3 years?
Fascinating.
The
Okay.
others are the other active internationals coming over are Americans. So if anyone listening and reading this, historically you would have had a few Americans coming in and inquiry numbers. If you've got one, extra layer of white gloves. They are super active at the moment. Let me give you an example there. If you like, an agent in North Wales introduced me to an American inquiry they got through Rightmove 6 weeks ago. We helped that American client move over £1 million worth of funds to the UK before they landed in the UK to see the property. So great news for the agent because they've earned some commission even before they've met the client.
Before they'd even bought anything.
And they know this client is super hot. Yes, I will give my weekend away from the family because I know you're good for it because Steve's got your money. Um, so pretty powerful stuff. So yeah, if you've got international Americans all over them because they love it and they're really active at the moment.
That's a fascinating insight into those sort of destinations. So Steve, just to sort of wind back a little bit, in terms of you've already outlined some of the benefits of to an agency working with you, but maybe outline it more broadly for us and tell us who you're working with already, just to sort of give us a snapshot of your involvement.
Okay, so we've been looking at the UK for only probably about 18 months. So we're still the new kid on the block. Lots of people don't know who we are, but hopefully people watching this are going, oh, this sounds maybe a little bit interesting. To give some ideas of other agents, but there are other brands as well, which you can come into as well. But from an agent's perspective, the early adopters of these have been the self-employed brokerage models. So IAD in London, you've got the likes of Harding Green, Movely, The agency groups, some of those do bits and pieces. The DDRE guys do that.
Yep.
But outside of the UK, the Guild, obviously yourselves, some of the RAN members. Some people watching this might know the Webbers guys down in
Yeah.
Devon. They've been an early adopter. Went and met them at the beginning of February. They send me 20, 30 clients a month now, and that's in Devon. So anyone watching this and goes, no, this is a South East thing, London thing. No, it's not. Equally, I get loads out of the Leeds office, for example, people
Yeah.
like Wine and Country. This is something, if you're reviewing your pipeline with your teams, doesn't hurt to ask the question quickly. And it's
No, it,
being
it,
left on
it
the table.
it's brilliant, and you are and you're friendly and approachable, and that's what we all like about you. So in terms of those agents identifying potential clients that might fit into that sort of bracket, other than the obvious, where are you moving to next, please? Are there any other sort of tips and tricks that you could share with us?
Good one. Well, from a vendor's perspective, this will take you 5 minutes. And if you've liked this, one of the takeaways I'm going to say, write this down and do this. Put it into your offer letters, put it into your MA or VAL paperwork when you're onboarding a client. You're already asking the buyers, you're a cash buyer, you're raising a mortgage, do you need a solicitor? As part of your finance, as part of your purchase or your wider finances, are you moving money internationally? Yes,
Yeah.
no, easy. Same from a vendors. As part of your onward move, are you moving internationally, or do you move money internationally? Give you an example here. A small office over in Bristol put this in first. Um, Respectively, anyone listening, it's pretty easy to identify the South Africans. Pretty strong accent, right? In Bristol, they've identified 4 clients in the first 6 months of this year who were British as British could be, and it wouldn't have come up, but because they spent two
You
minutes
put
putting
that
it
line
in,
in,
they've
yeah.
identified those clients. But yeah, it's just recognizing where they're going, and any real good agent out there is always, as you highlighted, always tracking the client. Where are you going next? What are you doing? If it's domestic, then obviously via the RAN network or the wider kerfuffle network, of course. But if anyone is international, alarm bell this friendly guy that talked about currency for a bit. Think Steve, and we can have a chat.
So Steve, I'm gonna combine the next two questions because I think they are sort of one follows on from the other. Um, so one, and I'm hoping you're gonna tell me it's extremely easy, but one is how easy is it to get started with you? So if I'm interested in sort of enrolling today and sort of getting underway with this, how easy is that going to be? But also, I appreciate that what I do immensely well is sell property and advise my clients on the UK market and their move over here. Where I feel a little bit out of my depth is, and I think it's probably a fair comment, and there's been a lot of talk in the press this week about referrals and selling other services. I think agents sometimes feel out of their depth where they don't understand the service that they're selling remarkably well.
Hmm.
So, what sort of support and hand-holding can you give me around that whilst I'm getting up and running?
25 years of doing this, we've got everything you could possibly want. If you want the full package or a little easy bit, full package would be there's a training academy, there's brochures, paperwork, we'll jump onto team meetings, we'll meet in person, we'll do all of this because, as you've mentioned, David, I appreciate I need to earn everybody's respect and opportunity to have that go and to have an opportunity to show you. And agents will understand that there is a reputational risk introducing something that they don't know about or introducing someone they haven't met.
Yeah.
So people want to have a coffee or have a chat, as you've hopefully said, and people might have met me at the conference. Not too scary looking, know what I'm doing. Let me know, let's have a chat. How easy it is, piece of piss. It really is. If you recognize a client that's doing this, yeah, of course. If you say to them, "Oh, here's a leaflet, give them a call, they'll be able to help you." Not a chance they will call me. Don't do that. Totally wasteful. In essence, you kind of go, right, you need to have a chat with Steve. I'll introduce you on email. He'll be able to help save you some money. Um, Simple as. And indeed, we provide a little introduction email template. Nowadays, not everyone's throwing emails around with clients around this because we've all got enough bloody emails coming in, right? It's all moved on to WhatsApp and Instagram. And, when I first started, I used to get introductions via faxes. That's how long I've been doing it for. Now I get them via Instagram. But yeah, there's a little text that people can.
Don't send him anything over by fax or telex, okay? And just want to make that clear,
Yeah,
just
I don't
for the
have
old
machines still
school
plugged
agents
in.
out
Yeah, it's certainly not got any paper in it.
there.
Um, but yeah. But it's easy. So from a client's perspective, when you see it's like next in the process, you need to have a chat with Steve. You'll thank me for the introduction. I'll put you in contact on email. Yes, you will generally see 9 out of 10 people go, yeah, okay. You'll get that one that will kind of go, who, what? I've already got somebody. It's too early, or I don't want to do it. And respectively, like a mortgage introduction that most agents are already doing, just go back going, you'd be surprised how many people say that and then thank me thereafter. Please do have a conversation.
Well, we're going to have a conversation shortly, but what I'm going to say is that um, I think what I've been impressed by. I mean, we've had a couple of chats. I saw you on stage at a little conference I was involved in at the Kerfuffle conference, and it's also surprising because it's a topic that the audience are not, they're not necessarily expecting to hear. Estate agents are not necessarily thinking, oh, what we're doing about currency, but actually this is it's quite pertinent. So the reaction's really positive. But one of the things that I took away is that, in terms of how property savvy you are, and how trusted you are. So just talk to us about why you think sort of being a little bit more property savvy makes all the difference.
So yeah, it's a fairly easy thing to do. From the property savvy piece, how many of you watching this chase the solicitors on the time of the completion? Where's the money? Just imagine if it was international. Can be a bit more tricky, right? Yeah, that's part of the reason why we're here. But yeah, providing all the paperwork involved in it. A lot of Americans coming over will be asking around tax and wealth conditioning planning. People moving from the UK abroad need visa specialists, wealth tax. I'll give you a good example here from a wealth perspective. If you're British and you're moving abroad, this ISA thing, ISAs don't exist in Europe. So if
Right.
you change residency and you go over to Europe, your ISAs become instantly taxable.
Ooh,
So I've had a client who didn't decide, I'll do that later, and they got stung with a 60 grand tax bill because they didn't do anything about it before they landed. It's
wow.
these kind of things that can make a hell of a difference. But yeah, we're trusted by some of the biggest brands in Europe that people watching this probably won't even know are there. But yeah, we do this for a living. There's 200 of us doing this for a good reason. So yeah, give us a go. From agent benefits, because we haven't talked about that too much, we've hinted a few things, but to go through that quickly, the first thing to think about is if you've got an international pipeline, that pipeline is at risk because the currency market's moving so much. So the first thing is it's protecting those international sales. I went into an office and they got out their very pretty forecast form. I'll be honest, it was a lady who had it beautifully coloured in to a point that in my head I was going, you've got too much time, it's too pretty. I went through it and I was like, oh, that's a French name. So, oh yeah, they're moving back to France. Okay. I went through it and we found 4 or 5 clients that were already sailing in the next 90 days that they just weren't aware of. Sent them the message. Four of them spoke to me within 24 hours. It generated 12 grand's worth of commission for them, which is left on the table. So the commission piece is big, which we can come on to if people are interested. But I'll also want to give a few success stories which really resonate with people that I think will be quite useful for people to take away as how using us as part of this can make a deal happen. We're not just nice people to deal with. And, we're not people that ring you up and go, thanks for the referral. How are the kids? How's the football? Can I have another lead? It's more value adding engagement to make deals happen.
Well, I am going to ask you about those success stories because I think that's how we should wrap up today. Um, because we always ask when we do one of these things, we always ask for sort of standout statistics or anything that might blow the minds of the people in our audience. And and obviously, I think you've already said this today, but 32,000 people left the UK and bought abroad last year, so that's 100 completions a day. This bit you touched on in the conference, and again, it is pertinent with the headlines, but 16,500 millionaires are expected to leave the UK this year. And so those are all going to be property millionaires. They're not necessarily bank millionaires, are they? They're people with assets that combined are worth over 1 million. And if they are moving, they're going to be selling their homes in order to be able to buy abroad. So instantly, that's a massive market, a massive opportunity.
Yeah.
But I'm going to let you detail the last the last stat, which talks about commission. So maybe just talk to us about that because you had that largest first commission
Okay.
statistic
Yep.
there. But also, I think that takes us into the success stories. I think that's a nice way to sort of round this off.
Right. Well, let me do the commissions and the commercials for everybody, and then I'll give some success stories as well. Commercials, when you introduce us to a client that opens up an account, which is free and no obligation, we'll give you 50 quid for every single one. So that's us basically saying that we back ourselves so much that once we've spoken to them, we're going to convert them. So we'll give you 50 quid a go. I know that doesn't sound like very much to some people that might be watching it, but really supportive for the sales nurture teams and bits and pieces that might be in the office that will see the opportunity. From the commercials, we give you a percentage of the profit that we generate from servicing that client on any currency transfers. So there's no stupid honeymoon phases. There's no first 6 months it's X, then you don't get diddly squat. It's through the whole lifetime of the client. It's equally if they end up buying through someone else on the high street
Yeah.
or if they're not doing property. I'll come to success stories in a second, and there's loads of them. Generally, the headline figure, well, how much does this mean? On average in the UK, you're talking about 2,200 on average per client. £2,200 on average for a quick conversation, an email, a WhatsApp, don't do a fax, or an Instagram, whatever it is. And then we can do the rest and we can work with you on it. Right.
Straight to your bottom line. I think that's great. So that
Success story?
largest first commission payment though, that's a little bit more than 2,200.
Yeah, there's quite a few biggies out there that have happened for sure. To give you some scale on us again, last month we paid out to our agent network over £250,000
Wow.
last month. So we don't do this a little bit. We do it a lot. Honest, those that are doubting it, please give us a go. Numbers wise, people, and this is specifically the first agent commission received. So last year and this year it's been broken, but this year met an agent in the UK, had a quick coffee. They didn't, their mind was blown. This thing never existed. I didn't know it was there. 2, 3 weeks later, they had an American client that was coming over to have a look at property with them. They cancelled the viewing at lunchtime. They booked somewhere in the morning. If people are interested, I think I'll always remember it. They ended up buying a flat just outside of King's Cross in London, which is where the Spice Girls did a music video. Bit
Yeah.
random. Some people might know that building. Anyway, we were introduced to this. Congratulations, good luck to you. You need to speak to Steve. We spoke to them. We helped them move over a couple of million over to buy that property a couple of weeks after. So the agent that didn't know me 6 weeks before, never met that client, we sent £19,000 to. Safe to say I'm on his Christmas card list. And this year that number's been beaten. Yeah.
That's brilliant. So give us a few just to sort of end, give us a few of those success stories.
I'll give you three quickly, and one I've kind of hinted to. Lots of people will have vendors with below market offers coming in. Make sure that you know whether or not they're moving abroad because we have helped agents get deals agreed below because they're recognizing the value internationally. So a cash buyer, no chain or chain, whatever, offering below the asking price, but a quick conversation with me, the agent presents it as this below asking price actually gets you more money now than if I got you a full asking price 3 months ago, 6 months ago. Super powerful, gets a deal done. Bread and butter stuff. We had one, not to, well, this happens quite frequently, to be honest, think about it, where again, price is tight. And this was a reasonably big property, and they'd negotiated, and ended and did not move any further. And it was 0.5%. Everyone listening to this who's still listening, you can relate to this, pulling your hair out, 0.5%. Come on, big boys and girls, just someone press the go button, it's 0.5%, crack on, let's get it done. But no, they didn't want to. Agent recognized that the buyer was bringing funds over from Europe to help fund the purchase. We gave them a call. On that same phone call, we could increase their offer by 1.5%. Deal broken, done. Note the fact that I didn't raise it by 0.5% either. 1.5%, deal done. So everyone was happy because psychologically the buyer was like, well, I'm not spending any more money. So
Yeah.
I'll happily increase it. So that made the deal happen. Another one that some people will think of is we got introduced a week before the completion. Um, you know, I did tell the guy, come on, you've probably been speaking to them for 6 months, a week before. But this might make you laugh, but I get introduced on the day of the completion more often than you'd think. We can still do that. Anyway, we helped the client with the move over towards the property purchase. The client had international business importing and exporting bits and pieces. We're now helping that business on a monthly basis, and that agent that made the introduction, again, a WhatsApp and an email, he's getting like £600 a month from us every month because he sent an email and asked the question. So there's a few heavy hit little success
Yeah,
stories that
no,
people might relate to.
that is brilliant. Steve, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. It's fascinating. Every time I start this discussion with you, I think, oh yeah, it's just going to be about, but it's actually very exciting because I think it's not only, I mean, as an agent, I suppose, yes, I love the idea of earning extra income, but I think if we can help people,
Mm.
um, the dynamics of those property transactions, the fact that very often at the higher end of the market, there's a standoff at some point. We're too far apart with numbers. But if you can help a buyer perhaps stretch a bit further, or you can help a vendor come down a little bit more without anybody actually getting hurt, and
Mm.
with people being able to walk away with more in their pocket than they thought, I think everyone's a winner. And I think ultimately that's what we're here for as agents. We're here to make those things easier for people. Steve, thank you very much.
No problems. What I would say lastly as well, anyone that's enjoyed this and like this, as part of this partnership and group, we've set up a dedicated WhatsApp community, which I'd entice you and invite you to join. Bear in mind that it's not me asking for people to help me with a five-a-side on a Friday. There's not loads of messages of pointlessness. It's around economic information, political information that can move markets, and you'll be talked about. We all like to know a little bit about something. So, for example, we've got an interest rate change coming up from the UK in a few weeks. There's an 88% probability that we'll see a cut. So join the WhatsApp group, check it out, give me a week or two. Big boy trousers on. If you don't like it, leave. But please do give it a go and join.
I'm on the group. I'm still there 3 weeks later, and it's a good group. It's a great group.
Thank you.
It doesn't spam anybody, and yeah, it's just thoroughly interesting. Steve, thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.